this Urban Tango Nights recap video, and the Welsh International Tango Festival, the 6th edition, is over for another year. It's done, well, it'll be done in 2 minutes when we finish this video. We hope it lasts 2 minutes this video. So in this video we're going to be recapping the workshop that Urban Tango Nights did at the festival. Originally we were scheduled just to do Tango Zouk Fusion, but unfortunately with Edward pulling out, myself and Sarah stepped in to do Time Dilation, and myself and Tara stepped in to do the making the heroes move around the floor. And then we also, myself and Alison, taught the Tango Zouk Fusion, and then the final part of the festival was tonight's normal weekly class, where we looked at Ochos, Ganchos, and some other stuff.
Some new beginners.
With some new beginners, who technically the first tango they've ever done is at an international tango festival. So let's start off with Time Dilation. Alison wasn't in the room for this because she was busy looking after everybody, making sure that there was food and everything out.
Water.
So we started off with just a lot about technique, about how the follower projects. So this could always be useful. So making sure you're opening up from the rib cage, pushing back on the inside wall of the leg, sinking into that standing leg if the leader is taking a big step, not preempting the side step and lifting the foot off the floor. All this sort of stuff, which meant that we could do exercises where we walked on every 4th beat or something like that. So everyone was going really slowly, but we were continuing the step and continuing the motion. We weren't doing what we see in some musicality exercises where people try to get people to slow down, which is this. I'm going to step and I'm going to pause. I'm going to step and I'm going to pause for the rest of the time. It's about continuing that motion through. We then sped it up to dancing every beat, and then we looked at what happens if you want to speed up even more by going up onto the balls of the feet, therefore still getting the projection, but meaning that you're not getting that transfer of weight for the heel to give yourself some extra time. So that took up quite a bit of the workshop, just again people's technique there, because not many people don't understand about the importance of foot placement, and we had to cover that as part of the festival to cover these fundamental techniques. We then looked at some forward ochos and then changing the timing of it. So followers aren't always preempting going at the same speed and doing death by ocho, but speeding bits up, slowing bits down. So again, that real time dilation feel, and then being able to use this to be able to, one of you to move very quickly while the other one is moving very slowly. So that's what we covered in Time Dilation. So next up, making the hero move around the floor. So again, we started off with the basic technique for heroes. So we'll just do these in the anti-clockwise motion just for sake of time. So making sure that when the follower is moving around the leader, arching that foot, keeping the leader chest towards the leader, moving from the leader's right hand side, in this case to the left hand side, and the leader keeps turning. She's now back on my right. And the importance of this side step, making sure that all the steps in the hero are very close to equal size, because they all got equal importance unless you're led to something else. And then also with this back step phase, so if Alison does the final side step, when we go in back step, helping the follower pivot back, and then only projecting back once the pivot is over, those can travel around. We then, once we got all this basic technique of being able to pivot forward and backwards and making sure those side steps there, we did an exercise where you walked down the room with your follower and just started rotating at random in whatever way you see fit. In either direction, going inside and outside, making sure the follower still has that nice ability to pivot and sidestep. We then looked at the external cadena, because this is effectively a travelling hero. So going from the outside cross system of walking, so I'm moving my left foot with my follower's left foot, stepping into her space, which is very important. So here's a side step to not have follow into a front layer. So I've done a side step, so my next step is the back pivot and back step. My follower is then going to walk around me, so this is a forward step phase of the hero. Into the side step, as I close my feet together and keep rotating. She's then going to do the back step phase of her hero, and then we can chain these together. So we talked a bit about the dissociation of the chest with it, and important of keeping the circular motion to get to progress down the route. Then finally we taught sort of a half octopus enganche. This is the move that Jenny and Ricardo do in pretty much every one of their show dances, where they whiz around the floor and sort of like their showpiece special, I suppose. But it's quite nice to do and relatively easy. So from the external to Cadena, when I get into this point, if I need my, instead of stepping back and around, I'm just going to step back and straight, which means I can pivot my follower into a gancho. If I then pivot her around, as she takes a side step, I'm going to bring my feet together and step forward with my left leg between hers, which means that as I keep twisting to my left, she now gets a hook on the inside of my leg. I can step around her and she can change the back hook, and we can keep this going in a sort of form of hero, because we still got the forward step, the side step and the back step. We just interspersed it with ganchos. Tango Zouk fusion now. So to relive the class, we started off with a fire alarm. So we lost about a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes to that. So we weren't able to teach this in as much detail as we like. But we looked at the basis of Zouk, of stepping back on the right, change of weight forward on the left, getting the arms to flow, and then taking this into an infinity. So going back on my right, chains, and then I'm going to lead my follower past, so she's going to go forward on the left, as I sidestep to the left, change, keep the arms fluid and large, and also talked about how the follower can tilt and stays tilted, or the leader as well, for as long as the arms are up and down. And then we did a little duck, so I took on the right hand over the left, decking my follower down. She stays in this position as I lift the hand, so we can get these turns. So we looked at a bit of this sort of stuff. We also looked at washing machine, so if we're in a hold, I can go up and around, so vertical circles, or like a colgada, I can push it, leading her away, I can counter her, and we can do circular motions in other directions. And then finally just diffusion it into Tango, which was a bit which, after nobody in the class had done Zouk before, so we had to cover all the basics. We had limited time for the Tango fusion part, just because of the fire alarm. But if we were doing forward Ochos, so I drop my embrace, and then added in the double steps, and go in the opposite direction, we end up with a fusion point there. We can also go from, if we are doing infinities, I can put cicadas in, bring my follower around, I can adjust my embrace and go into Tango from there. Or from Tango, if I come to a sandwich position, I can then do my Zouk movements as well. Finally, Monday night's class. Lots of new beginners, so we did our usual walking exercises, musicality, connection, all these fundamentals, which appear in all our classes. We then looked at forward Ochos by taking a side step to the left, twisting the chest to the left, creating the space for the follower to step through, following where the leader's chest is, arching a foot, keeping the chest with the leader's chest, and twisting the chest to the right, so we've got our forward Ochos, adding in side steps in the direction of the follower's travel, which can be small or large, overturning them or underturning. And then we looked at adding paradas, so she goes across my right hand side, using my right foot to block her foot, which means pause, so she's going to pivot into this position.
Make sure, followers, that we fully pivot, fully turn around, we don't end up with our legs in weird position.
And then adding decorations, so the shoe shines or piqués, and leading the follower over with my chest, which I could take her out with, or gancho by twisting my chest back into the right. And then finally, we looked at what happens if we sunk this down, causing planeos, which we can do in calcetas or leg wraps. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for all those who came to the festival and supported us. If you're watching this and thinking, well, I really missed out, well, you had plenty of time to book. But it also means you have plenty of time to look for next year's festivals, because we've got 3 of them.
Yeah.
So if you book now, you won't be disappointed. And also you won't be tempted to go to what we would call inferior events. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again very soon.
Thank you for watching this Urban Tango Nights recap. If you like these videos, please subscribe to our channel by clicking the logo. You can find more of our class summaries down here and other videos of us dancing tango over here. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Meetup. Links are in the description below, and you can also subscribe to our newsletter using the link below.